Before the Eytan Tokef, just two thoughts come to mind. My favorite rabbinic saying is, before I speak, I'd like to say something. So my very first high holidays in my congregation in Ottawa, I'm up leading on Rosh Hashanah and my microphone's not working. And as many of you have probably noticed, my voice is pretty good at projecting, but it's still pretty far all the way to the back of the room. And I remember at one point during the service, as seats began opening up, saying, I'm yelling pretty loudly. It would be great if people could move up. And they're like, no, we're good. So I will remind everyone the seats are opening up, should you wish to be able to move forward a little bit, even if the microphones are working just fine today. It was the summer of 2021, and we were living in Canada, so we didn't know where we could go on vacation, so we needed to find somewhere in Canada. And so I recommend to everyone, if you ever have the opportunity to go to the Canadian Rockies, you should go. They are beautiful, they are wonderful, they're fantastic. And when we were there, we wanted to make a point to engage in something with the First Nations, with the indigenous peoples of the area. And when we were in Jasper, we signed up for a medicine walk with a Cree elder to take us on a medicine walk in Jasper. And when I signed up for this medicine walk, I envisioned we would wander through the forest, we would find all sorts of fun things that I never noticed before. And lo and behold, we're walking through downtown Jasper. And I was very surprised, and I asked this elder, what are we doing? And she said, I think people are surprised to discover how many amazing things grow in places that we see but don't notice every day. Okay, so one of the things she said is that the dandelion is the perfect flower. You can eat it, it is self-sustaining, it grows, and it will grow all over the place, right? It is the perfect flower. And we went out and she showed us two lawns. And one lawn looked kind of like my lawn looks at the moment, where it's green, but there's these kind of little patches that don't look like the other patches. It doesn't look like Bermuda grass out there. And then showed us another lawn that was perfectly manicured and designed. But the thing that was interesting was that there had been drought conditions that summer. And the one that looked like the first was green and lush. And you know what the Bermuda one looked like? Totally brown. Because it's not meant to grow there. And it's not meant to sustain the weather that it was facing in that moment. And she said something to us as part of this tour that stands out to me to this very day, and I'm sure you'll be able to see the connection, or at least I hope you'll be able to see the connection to Eytan Tokef, which is, it's only a weed if you don't see its value. Okay? It's only a weed if you don't see its value. How much of our self-reflection and introspection is about who we think we are supposed to be rather than being the best version of who we are? How much of this time of the Eytan Tokef, which is about self-examination of who are we, is not about accepting and acknowledging and appreciating even those parts of ourselves that sometimes we think are the things we're not supposed to have? Right? The lawn that we think we're supposed to have versus the lawn we actually do, right? The things that grow versus the things that grow by themselves, right? What does it mean to come to accept and appreciate and to see the value of all the parts of ourselves, even those parts that might otherwise, and society might tell us, are a problem? And so as we begin the Eytan Tokef, I hope we'll all use this opportunity for some introspection, that just as the Almighty is going to look carefully at us, that we also look carefully at ourselves. And in that moment, give ourselves the grace of acknowledging that within ourselves, it's only a weed if we don't see its value.